Working. It's working again.
I think we are live.
There we go.
All
All
right.
right.
Coming to you live from Tennessee.
Gonna say.
Let's see,
All
who
right.
do we got in his house?
We didn't even say welcome back. I usually say welcome
Oh, I'm
back.
sorry. I just went over your thing. Go for it.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and whoever else.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's see. We got, well, it disappeared.
It disappeared.
There we go. We got
Do I need to pull
Foco.
it here? Let me pull it a little bit closer.
We got Miss West S. I feel like I kind of got to scoot a little
There you go. There you
closer
go.
to you.
That's better. That's
You smell
oh,
pretty
oh.
decent today.
oh my goodness.
Well
It's moving so fast.
Big
All right.
Daddy's truck. And we got David. And we got Texas. We got Clint Eastwood, Lisa, Skelton, Zach, Crown Royal. What?
Oh no. I just
I'm sure West S has got to be around here somewhere.
Just like-
Texan.
Hi.
Everybody, Craig,
everyone.
C103, Sam. It's going so fast.
Bum bum
Douglas,
bum. Got
Keith,
C103.
Eric,
Bum bum.
Dan, Doug, Mr. TB.
Bum bum bum.
TV9. Let's see, Jeff, Survival.
We'll get it started here in a minute.
GK.
We always have to go
There's
through this.
Wes. I do. I like my little hellos. Survival. LT Survival.
It's just I'm just glad that you can
Jessica,
do it at the
James.
beginning this time.
Mm-hmm. John. Yeah, the kids actually passed out.
Yeah. Lucky.
Made them
Lucky
run out
us.
all over the property. Gary. Hello, everybody.
Not happy with your dog.
I know.
Still mad.
I discovered a sad thing today.
And we've got to plant another one now.
Bandit
Because your
drug
dog,
up the peach tree.
he loves to chew on sticks. And out of all the woods out
Yes.
there, he had to eat the peach tree. I almost... I was so mad.
It was a thin
Oh.
little peach tree.
Oh, hey, I want to show you guys something before we get started. Can I show them
I don't care.
you okay?
You just gotta do
The cherry tomatoes. You guys,
Hey, Savage.
I want to show you guys.
Sleeping Bear. Aiden here. Sorry.
Still saying hi. Hi. Hi, you guys. Hang on a second. I want to show you guys something.
On the bright side with this TP thing, we don't have to worry about people getting TP.
Hang on. I have to show you guys this. This is so cool. As I just look at this. Look at all of them. Look at all these little guys.
Forest going.
It's like a little cheetah pet. There's quite a few of them. I
Happy
lost
little
count.
plants.
Just kind of turn them around. There's a whole slew of them in there. It's like a little cheetah pet. They're all cherry tomatoes. I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I got to transplant them soon, and I'm
Another month.
yeah, in about another month. I keep running in and out, putting them outside
Hey, Alan.
so that they can get plenty of sunlight.
Ball.
And from between taking them in and out, give them a little bit of water and
Hey, Chipper.
give them some sun. For those of you that didn't catch that part, it just spin them around one more time for you. I just thought it was a trip, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just one day I just I went and I grabbed one of the out of the bundle. Sippy said that we have to start indoors. You can't plant them outdoors right away.
Right.
And I went through those seeds and I found cherry tomatoes. And I was like, I have to grow cherry tomatoes. So I didn't have any containers to put them in here at the house.
Hey, John.
I wanted something kind of low level. I wasn't going to pay like $5.20 or whatever for another container. So I went downstairs and found this plastic container and threw some garden soil in it and chunked them all in there and threw water on it and bam, like a cheetah pet. They're all growing. But yeah, hopefully I'll get them transplanted into little Dixie cups or something. I'm just going to go get a pack of cups and just take them and switch them out into that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you want to talk about before No?
No.
Just talking. And all right, so interesting thing. Now this is the toilet paper podcast, and there's a reason why I called it that. It's a trip. It is such a trip, and I know there's a lot to say in this live stream, And there's a lot that I've been really thinking about. And here's the thing: we went to a local grocery store like we normally do, and I wanted to get a pack of chicken. I just wanted to get a pack of chicken,
A pack
and
of chicken, like
yeah,
a whole herd.
I just wanted a pack of chicken breast and some ground beef
Ohio.
and we see we keep milk frozen and we have we keep plenty of toilet paper. It's just I don't I'll say that part for last. I'll say that part for last. This not on the what do you have kind of thing. It's more of the what I was going there for,
Mm.
and it was just a thought. Another thing of spaghetti and some pasta and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The basics, you know, and some of course we have to pack lunches for the kids for school, and in order to do that, we buy the box of chips and that kind of thing. Okay, so we're going through the aisles, and I said, I hope it's not crazy while we're out. And I don't like to laugh at stuff, and especially not in public, I just kind of keep it to myself and I keep my mouth shut. And
No, he does
no,
not.
I had to start messing with her after a while, though. But she turns and looks at me. Someone come running past us soon as we got in the store with stacks of toilet paper. And
Yeah, our kids still have school for now.
it was anyways, this this person come running past us with stacks of toilet paper, and I said, man, no one's ever around. No one's ever going to believe that this stuff is happening
Yeah.
when it just all starts to unravel right in front of me. And uh, people are going through lists, and they're freaked out. They are freaked out. They're just going through these lists and, well, did you get this? Did you grab that? Did you do this? And
Very intense.
Very intense.
Not so much freaked out, but more intense, I felt.
It was intense.
It was very intense.
And us and the three kids were all just well
Just like,
just
okay, well, let's get the produce and
yeah, and it's like,
no,
hey,
we don't need that.
I need
Fine.
I need tortillas.
You
I was-
didn't get much
I
tortillas.
didn't get much
you?
tortilla. I was so disappointed that someone bought out all the tortillas.
There were plenty of wheat tortillas, but not.
There
the
was plenty of wheat
flour
tortillas, but there was no flour tortillas. I was so disappointed. And I told the wife, I said, I guess the good Lord's trying to tell me I need to cut back
Take
on my
on.
burritos. I don't know.
Classic
Whatever it
concept.
was, I'm just trying to make up some kind of excuse just to make myself laugh. And, so we're looking around at like all the health related foods, all the healthy foods were still there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going through, and I looked at the rice, and I said, that can't be for real.
No, wait,
I looked at the spam section. Everybody talks trash about spam lunch meat, but it was sold out. There's no spam.
Me too, Miss West.
There was no long grain rice of any kind. Most of the beans were gone.
Yeah.
All they left on the shelf was just like scattered beans everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, Garrett.
there was, like I said, all the other stuff was still there. Brown rice. What is it? Nobody likes brown rice. It still had plenty of brown rice on the shelves. And we
Yeah, just the white rice, the white tortillas.
and
No one likes the healthy.
I guess
crap.
nobody has deep freezes either because there was plenty of chicken and beef and all that stuff.
Oh no, you forgot about the dehydrated milk.
Yeah, the dehydrated milk was gone.
That stuff was gone. I didn't even know we had that
There was a
in the aisle until I was like, whoa.
there was a sign hanging there to be continued. Like, well, okay, we'll see what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
And all the sugar was mostly gone.
Yeah.
They just wreaked havoc on the flour and the
Mm-hmm.
yeast. The yeast and the flour just wreaked havoc on it. It was insane. This is in this little. We had one confirmed person
Oh, there's more than that. I know it.
There was like one that they announced.
Yeah, just one they announced.
And then there's a couple that's kind of questionable that's in the news, but other than that, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're getting now, and it was as soon as they declared a state of emergency. Once they declared a state of emergency, all chaos broke out.
And I couldn't find any sliced ham except for the little ones, like the big ones that
Yeah.
I like to buy. Those were all gone, except for one that was like all fat, and I was like, no, we're not desperate for that.
Well, I kind of wanted to update people. It's just kind of like it was weird. And I was just sort of taking note of what I was seeing missing off the shelves. And Boo, poor Boo, she kept asking because there's a hand sanitizer ordeal going on at school, and she's been asking for one of those little bitty keychain hand sanitizers to hang on her backpack. I don't have any.
And I was just looking at him like, are you kidding me? You think you're gonna find that in this store or any store? Go ahead,
I had
y'all.
to ask the question.
Go ahead.
The guy was stocking shelves, and he says he stopped me before I even walked down the aisle. He said, if you're looking for because she kept going on about the hand sanitizer, and he's like, if you're looking for hand sanitizers, we're completely sold out of any kind whatsoever. There's none here. There was the run on stuff that was sold out was just bizarre to me because it was like
there's plenty of produce and everything.
Whole lot of people playing catch up. It was like
a lot of the ground beef was gone except for the big packages, and they were actually just starting to restock that up.
Yeah.
But there was still plenty of meat except for the ham and the ground beef.
What else was missing that was weird? Anything else? I mean,
no, a lot of the milk was gone.
Yeah, a lot of the milk was gone. But it was just weird, some of that stuff. But I expected the powdered milk to be completely sold out, and I was like, yep, that confirms it. It's all gone. As soon as I walked by it, I said, I bet y'all that powdered milk sold out. And it's like, yep, it's gone. It was just something to do while I was gathering groceries, pretty much. That's pretty much what I was doing. And luckily there wasn't too much chaos.
We didn't even bother with like Walmarts or Targets or anything
don't
like
do that.
I mean, it's not that bad here, of course, now because we're not in a major city anyways.
Major
cities, and yeah.
I wouldn't want to try
Our
Walmart.
bread was pretty full.
I did run into a fella that I know, and his cart was full of toilet paper, and he was wearing rubber gloves, and he was shopping wearing rubber gloves. No offense. If you want to wear rubber gloves when you shop, I just had some thoughts on rubber gloves and shopping, and okay. You're wearing rubber gloves. That makes perfect sense if you're in a situation where you're dealing with a situation, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can walk away from that situation. You take the gloves off. Ta-da!
Gloves
clean hands.
Are off. It's on.
Gloves are off. Clean hands. Perfect. But a lot of stuff is going to possibly cling to those rubber gloves. But in the end, those are groceries. Those are that's all stuff you're going to have to unpackage at some point, take out of the wrapper, and eat it. But you're wearing gloves the whole time, and it makes sense. But then again, it doesn't make sense. I said, does it make any sense, to wear rubber gloves while you're shopping? And I got to thinking, well, if you're talking about something that in some climates it can live on the surface for 9 days. I mean, what did you say tuberculosis was?
2 weeks in the
2
sputum.
weeks?
So someone hawks a loogie, it can live outside the body for 2 weeks.
And they were saying this could live outside the body for
9 days. That they know of. But it is not serious like tuberculosis.
Well, I'm not saying it. I'm really not trying to compare it to
I have to
tuberculosis.
Say it, I know you're not.
I'm just talking,
I just
and
have to say it.
You can take what I say, and if you want to use it, then go ahead. But if not, then But here's the thing: if it lives outside the body for 9 days, it depends on the location. And in some cases, it's 3 days. And airborne, it can live like float through the air. If it was air, the way they explained it was that air exposure what was it? 3 hours. It was like 3 hours is what I was reading.
Yeah.
This is all from the
Like
CDC
it just
type
hangs
stuff,
in the
and
air for 3 hours.
but I don't think anybody wants to go broadcasting it to everyone and freak everybody out. And it wasn't soon after that, after the state of emergency was kicked into play, then you got uh, the National Guard Bureau and all this other trash coming together in one big form with our powers combined. I am Captain Planet, and they basically uh, uh, delegated to bring in National Guard into different locations, different states, and all these other affected areas. And then I didn't even want to talk about it anymore because once I mentioned that to folks, I started getting the whole "you're being a fearmonger, hey, you need to stop it," blah 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 blah. And then somebody had to tell the guys like, "Hey man, you need to go take your meds, bro." It was pretty funny to see other people were defending me. I didn't even have to say anything. And but
60 count.
but here's the other thing. They halted leave for active duty, from what I've gathered. And look, I'm not active duty anymore, so all I can do is just take word that other active duty members tell me, and I I take that with a grain of salt. I just pass it on, and it's like, hey, I got word from somebody else. They're halting leave, so leave requests are being canceled until like late May or something. And I mean, all I can do is pass it on to somebody else. So if if
Dang, Cassie.
but there's trying to scare the crap out of everybody, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sense of all the chaos and all the panic. And the wife was telling me, the other night, I'm gonna quote you real quick about the whole, it's gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm sitting there, and we're just getting ready for bed, doing our normal routine there, and I was like, "Yep, I think it's time for bed." And she goes, "It's going to get worse." And yeah,
The
it's
panic is.
panic. Everything. It's probably going to get worse. The panic.
Now that they're getting all these testing kits, and they're probably going to realize, hey, more people are infected than what we thought. Oh my gosh, run!
It's, I,
Poke everybody.
we were out in the
with a
car.
chainsaw stick.
We were out in the car getting ready to leave the parking lot, and she says, "You know what? If you were that prankster to yell, 'He's got the virus,' or something, just to see what kind of reaction people would get."
Yeah.
Nah, it wouldn't be a very nice thing to
No,
do.
I wouldn't want anybody getting trampled.
I, I kept yelling at her the whole way through the store and embarrassing her. She'd roll her eyes and give me those dirty looks. She's like, I was passing past the toilet paper aisle, and it was gone. All the toilet paper was gone. All it was left was the paper towels.
Paper towels, napkins.
It was very little paper towels. There wasn't very many of those left either.
So
And
ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous. And I go,
Casey.
I was so shocked when I seen it in person that I had to yell. I was like, hey babe, they ain't got no toilet paper." she turned around and looked at me. She gave me the evilest look. "Stop it." She didn't do that. Oh man. But it was just a trip to see it. I was like, holy cow, they weren't kidding. That stuff's gone.
Mm-hmm.
um, I heard today that they got augmented trucks trying to run routes and all kinds of weird stuff. They're setting that up apparently. I'm hearing a lot of weird stuff, and it's just going to get crazier now that
Well,
because when you do the state of emergency ordeal, that's the list of things that get crazy. You were telling me it's already getting crazy at the hospital.
I was just gonna say that. I mean, not just like military's affected. Hospitals, we have our protocols placed in now. and I've heard that from
Yes.
other patients, family members. Like this one guy was saying, well, my daughter works up in upstate New York, and the hospitals will only allow two visitors per patient,
Mm.
and everybody's going to get screened and everybody's going to get checked. And of course, you know, the
Wow.
employees, if you don't already have to swipe in to get through the locked doors, they're only making like 2 choke points for hospitals. So I already had a deal and hear about other nurses dealing with upset family members. Now, of course, that didn't apply to patients who were actively dying.
Yeah.
That's different. They can have as many family members as they want, but as far as everybody else is concerned, it's very very limiting on the amount of patients, visitors that they'll let in. And um, and for us, it's like you got to get screened if you go out of state, and you got to fill out all this documentation, and
So
you
they're
know
already
it's
starting to put that on you guys as well.
mm-hmm. And then all those schools, yeah, that are closing down,
Yeah.
and it's just you can't. The thing is, though, you close down all these schools, though. A lot of nurses were already stressing about if they start shutting our school systems down, who's going to watch the kids?
Exactly.
You're putting a lot of strain on people too.
I had to call our school. I couldn't stand it because they are the type of folks. Look, they got our calendar wrong, and
A lot of nurses won't show up. I'll
I,
tell you that much.
one thing that's always bugged me is like I'll never forget, reading through the calendar and they had all the days marked wrong. They missed like number 8 and things like that. I'm like, this is our public school. They missed number 8 on the calendar,
Yeah,
and
they
I
do.
was totally freaked out about it. I Out of all the days, you missed like one day completely. Just took that day off. It's not even there, and I was like, what on earth? So, and with this with the snow situations throughout the winter, they just randomly will call you in the middle of the day and say, well, we've been and um it's the leader of the you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to. I was really annoyed with this, but they'll call in the middle of the day. They don't care if you're working or whatever, and they'll call and go, "Yeah, so we've been monitoring the weather, and it looks like it just ain't gonna let up. So yeah, we're just gonna let the kids out of school early today. We need you to come get them around 10:30. You know, like uh, yeah, what? Well, and then, oh man, the school heard about it too. Everybody's calling them. Is you want me to leave work? Everyone's calling them it, and I called. I said, hey, look, I just got your voice message here, and it says I have to be there by when? And it's oh, we had to reschedule the time to 12:30 or something. And it's like, yeah, but I called the school and I said, hey, are you guys going to, because I've been getting multiple emails from the school and the school board of directors stuff. And it's going on about this coronavirus. And we know parents are concerned and all this stuff. It was like, it was like writing a panic letter and then sending out another panic letter and then not expecting any reaction, you know.
Yeah, well, oh, another thing I just remembered is they're not letting any student nurses in the hospital now. All the colleges are closing down, and everybody's going to
Oh,
be doing it
wow.
online. So, and part of that too is going through resources,
What?
is they don't want the students going through our resources because we're expecting major shortages.
Yeah, because they
So,
have to use the same supplies you guys use in
mhm.
order to be able to
And
work with
if
you guys.
anybody comes from Washington, they will not allow them in the hospitals. Or
Oh my
it doesn't
goodness.
matter if he's the best surgeon the whole world has to offer. They say no. Washington is like
What?
ground zero. Yeah, they
Wow.
won't let anybody from Washington come into our
Holy
hospitals.
moly.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So it's just out of control.
Well, yeah. Um, but I had to call. And when I got on the phone, they ran around in circles, would not answer my question. It was a simple question. Are you guys planning to close down the school? Because I don't want to get a phone call in the middle of the day saying you guys just decided to come. I got to come get my kids.
That's too casual. Yeah.
But they wouldn't answer the question. They just running around in circles with it. Well, we're closely monitoring the situation, and
Well, I feel like they're definitely focusing more on trying to prevent it. I mean, let's get real, people. You're gonna get sick
yeah,
unless you live in an air filtered bubble. You're
that's
gonna
what we
get
were.
sick, and you need to focus on, okay, if I'm sick, what can I do, to keep myself alive? If, but I mean, it's not
Yeah,
that big of a strain compared to actual, SARS and other things that are out there. So I just get annoyed with that. It's just like, people who don't have insurance, or if you can't get access to a hospital, the best thing you can do if you get
yeah,
sick
he's
is just
infected.
rest, rest,
I
rest,
am infected.
and
That's right.
hydrate. Water, juice, Gatorade. That's the
There's
best thing you can do with the virus.
and yeah, that's the other thing that had me thinking when I saw oh boy with the gloves on at the grocery store, and he goes, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was like, "You got rubber gloves on." I didn't hesitate. Hey man, you got rubber gloves on. Anyway, I just thought it was crazy.
Yeah, this coronavirus, it's a
If
different
you're elderly though, I would definitely be wearing a
branch of
mask.
SARS. It's not it's
I'm not
it's not
kidding.
as lethal as SARS itself.
I'm the only reason why I'm saying it isn't because it. Look, if you are susceptible to,
Mm-hmm.
where's my words fall the bouncing ball. So if that's the case, if you're elderly, I would definitely put on a mask. I'm just throwing it out there. That's something that I would do if if that's the case. If they're hyping it up like this and pumping it, uh, that's what I would be doing. It's just me. And but for myself, I've already sat here and said to myself, I was like, hey, you're probably going to catch it, and if you catch it, and then you catch it, and that's just what it's just going to boil down to,
Mm-hmm.
and
The worst thing you
us
can
to
do
fight through
is
it, and
freak out and stress. Stress
exactly,
lowers your immune system,
stress does lower your immune
and it's
system.
going to inhibit your body's ability to fight. So don't panic and just get some rest.
I don't think they're as concerned about kids
No, they're
as they
not.
are the elderly.
Elderly and the immunocompromised, just people with low immune systems. So
I just get to thinking about all the crazy folks out there that driving like
exercise
maniacs.
your body.
I man, it's just getting nuts out there. Well, there was that. There was something else I was telling you the other day. I kind of wanted uh, to mention, and it's what uh, the I guess it would be the folks that are um, upset with other communities that say they say things along the lines of, "Well, you should have been preparing." And I, I just want to touch on that real quick because I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't think I've ever said just straight up, well, you should have been doing this or anything like that. I don't think I've ever just come out and said that. And I have said that I'm not panicked because I've been doing this for a long time. I've said that, but um, if this is, but if this is the beginning of if you are awake and aware of your surroundings now, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, your uh, your Jack's total lack of trust for the government and whatever's happened, and you're on board with this stuff now, I, I that's good because for the longest, and now you guys don't know, you guys, the ones that are starting into this stuff, you realize now that none of us are crazy. You guys realize now that there's a reason why people like me, every time I go on uh, about every 2 weeks when I go buy groceries, I get a decent amount of toilet paper. I just went to, I had to throw a toilet paper joke out there. But
Thank you, Selena.
I used to do food storage reminders. I used to do them every month. And why? I don't know. I wanted to do them. And I thought it would be smart to tell folks what I'm doing and show people what we're storing and how we kind of take that $20 and we go and set that to the side just for the extra this or just for the extra that.
Start singing like the Italians. That's funny. It's sad, but it's kind of still funny. Sorry.
We would do, I would do these videos where I'm like, all right, I got beans, I got ravioli, or I got just some random stuff, pasta, or macaroni and cheese for the kids, or I got Kool-Aid packets, or I bought some more sugar, or I would
Hey
do.
Trey.
I know I've done quite a few bucket food storage videos, the how tos and stuff. I'm not trying to go through the list of videos I've made or anything. Um, I used to do that stuff all the time. And I used to get so many cray cray comments where they're like, yeah, hoarding and stuff. And there's that is a sickness and illness and blah, blah, blah. I used to get all kinds of stuff like that. And now I'm having to explain to the same people who told me that
That's right, casual.
man, you can store pasta on the shelf. It's fine. You know what I mean? I'm having to explain to these folks that would make fun of me for doing what I do that what expires, what doesn't expire, uh, and all that sort of thing. What lasts the longest, and what they should be getting, and stuff. It's just weird now. It's like the the whole thing is just flipped upside down. I'm in an
Yeah.
upside down world now.
Robin's saying prepping ain't weird anymore.
Prepping ain't weird anymore. Everybody gets
It's
it now.
true. I'm just saying, why are you doing toilet paper? Part of these symptoms
You
is
can't eat
throwing
toilet
up.
paper.
You need to focus on hydrating, and it's
Yeah,
not as
you probably
severe
should.
like pneumonia. And I've seen people asking, well, if I, have a coughing fit, how do I know if I have it? It's
It's
different. You have a fever and you're throwing up and you have chest
the
pain. The flu won't cause your bronchioles to have pain and burning. That's what they're saying. That's what pretty much is the tall tale sign. Fever of like 101, uh, coughing, you're having a hard time breathing in, and
go to the
it's
emergency room
burning in
immediately.
your chest.
Go to the emergency room immediately because uh, a lot of this stuff's going to be covered.
Yeah, they're saying all insurances have to cover it.
Yep,
Testing, treatment, everything. They have to cover it.
yep,
So there's a plus.
yep.
I mean, but they said it shouldn't last more than 2 to 3 days. You just gotta make sure you stay hydrated. Hydrated.
But yeah, going back to what I was saying with the food storage thing, I get I had been thinking about that for a while, because someone had asked me. More folks are concerned about, well, this is going on, and uh, they have their priorities. What do you say?
I always saying just about how everything exits the body.
Yeah,
They need to prioritize about keeping stuff in the body, not what's exiting.
yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. Like, I was uh, I was saying, as I went through the aisles and I saw all the rice was missing, this was the thought that crossed my mind. And when I went down the aisles and I saw all the bleach that was missing, and it wasn't even the right bleach. People were buying all the cheap bleach. They weren't buying the good stuff that actually works. And there's a difference between your watered down versus your stronger, more potent stuff that really does kill bacteria more hardcore, like medical grade, right? So there's a difference in that. And Folks will go on about pool shock and stuff like that, and
Try to avoid pool shock.
try at all means
That stuff
necessary to
is
avoid
very
that stuff.
potent on your kidneys and your
It
organs.
is.
Stick with bleach.
For the longest time, I would think about, hey, do I have any pool shock on hands? Like, yeah, I should have that. You know what I mean? And I've thought about that several times, and other people would leave those comments, and I said, it's a good idea, but be careful with it,
When you
and
read the
because
back of
once you
that
read,
stuff,
yeah, exactly.
it's got a big caution and hazard warning
Mm-hmm.
about how to dilute it. You better dilute it really good.
It's good, but yeah, you really should read the
Same with
details.
inhaling it. You got to be careful to not inhale that stuff either.
And drops per gallon. I've had so many questions this week. Drops per gallon on
Holding
with
people to
with
this.
containers, like really large containers. It it all depends. It really does. Um, there's your 8 drops per gallon or your 6 drops per gallon. Okay, and some folks would say uh, there's people out there that say three drops per gallon or 4 drops per gallon or whatever. It depends on
The
where
contaminate.
where did you get the water from? How long has the water been sitting? Has it been sitting for a while? And is the water murky? That's the other question. You've really got to answer all those questions before you decide how many drops you put per gallon. It has a lot to do with that. And uh, I saw all that long grain rice was gone. Okay. And then I get to thinking, well, like um, long grain rice can go bad too. It doesn't matter. Long grain rice lasts longer. It's not as nutritious uh,
Oh,
uh,
there you go. Camping food.
as the brown rice, but the brown rice isn't going to last as long as long grain rice. But here's the thing: like pest and all kinds of funky stuff can get inside rice, and people don't put it up correctly, and you gotta the a lot of people misunderstand me when I explain you got to freeze it, then you got to thaw it out. And of course, when it thaws out, it's fine. You can store it in your mylar bag inside your bucket and seal it up. I explain all that stuff. And it's like, but is it okay after you thaw it out? Yes, it's okay after you thaw it out. And I was seeing that. It's like, but look at all that pasta. Like, nobody bought pasta.
Mm-mm.
And pasta, I mean, if you're uncomfortable with things stored inside cardboard boxes, take it out of the cardboard box and put it in a plastic bag. But pasta, it it's ridiculous how long pasta lasts. Hey, buy the crap out of pasta. It's great. It's not the same as eating rice.
Yeah, rice has a little bit more electrolytes in it, but
But if you want something to put in storage, uh, and that that spaghetti sauce and that pasta, that's a good combo right there. You know, I mean, there's just the stuff that people were not buying was tripping me out because and it's just like if you're in an emergency, there was plenty of top ramen, and I think people weren't buying the top ramen because it wasn't on some sort of storage list or nutritional whatever. And
Pop Tarts. That's funny. You
Pop
got the
Tarts,
box of Pop Tarts
I just grabbed
from
them for the
Charlie.
kids. I grabbed a
We
box.
kind of focus more on like the comfort foods because
Hmm.
we're like, well, we got enough rice and pasta, but
We don't ever do the
to
comfort
keep the
foods.
kids from stressing out or, even us, it's good to have some comfort foods.
It's good to have a deep freeze or something along that lines too. You can freeze milk, and a lot of people are buying up the powdered milk. That's fine. But
I
I got
keep
to
it.
thinking, it's like, does anyone freeze milk anymore? I know we do. We freeze milk.
My mom used to freeze it
It doesn't
when
last
I
as
was a
long when you
kid.
thaw it out,
Yeah,
but
when
at
you
least you've got milk.
it'll last long enough for you to drink it.
Yeah. But you can
And
freeze
cheese.
if you've got enough space in your freezer. that milk container will not bust. You can put it in the freezer. It's perfectly fine.
Freeze beef jerky.
You can freeze all sorts of stuff. And I don't think a lot of people that are buying up a lot of stuff are aware of that yet. But it's a good topic for some folks. Is like how we freeze cheese, and we want to have cheese all the time, so we freeze it. And uh, you know, and I might not need it right then when I buy the cheese. If it's on sale, buy one get one free, and that's usually when I buy it. It's buy one get one free. Like
Man,
today,
cheese is expensive.
shit.
I was looking
Tell
at
me about it.
deodorant. I'm like,
Woo,
why is a little
deodorant.
stick of deodorant $5?
I tell you what,
I remember it was like 99¢.
that deodorant was outrageous, and feminine products and stuff like that, tampons, pads, all that stuff was
Yeah,
expensive.
you can store breast milk for a year.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can store in a freezer for a long time,
Right.
and it's just
It.
um.
Hmm.
But like I, the peanut butter section, no one had touched the peanut butter section. There was plenty of bread, and I think people were trying to make their minds up on what they were going to do because I don't think a lot of folks have deep freezes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's
$5.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you very much. Appreciate. Thank you very much.
Big explosion. Thank you. Uh, what was that? Thank you. I think what it is a lot of folks don't have deep freezes, and maybe
Well, not
or
everybody
maybe a lot
has
of
space for a deep freeze.
or yeah, that could be it. But I was also thinking that maybe folks just don't think about putting stuff in the freezer, or what do they keep in their freezer? And you could do uh, some of these foods didn't make a lot of sense, and I was walking down the aisle again, and I looked at all those Twinkies, and I got to thinking Zombieland for some reason that dude's going to be out there looking for those box of Twinkies. And I'm just being comical in my head as I'm walking down the aisle. I laugh at some things. I keep myself entertained. You know what I mean? So I got to thinking that it's kind of like the trying on the skinny jeans. Yeah, you think I can pull off skinny jeans? I know I can pull them on, but can I pull them off? Anyway,
Yep. But
boom, 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 boom.
you're so funny. I forgot to laugh.
Bullet plugs. Oh, M. Jones.
What do we think is going to happen? I think it's just going to get blown way more out of proportion. People are really going to start freaking out. And you were going to talk about all that National Guard and.
I did.
Oh, you already did? Did I tune you out maybe?
You did.
I probably didn't. I was probably focused on the chat.
I mentioned that real quick, and then there was a couple little ups and downs that I was thinking about, and that just goes with the thought in my mind is that if you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it, and there's a lot of panic and people freaking out and buying all this stuff, and pace yourself. No one's pacing themselves, and this is a good example of the just-in-time food system is not doing so hot right now, because I don't think a lot of folks.
Thank you, Ronnie.
This was a thought in my mind is I don't think that some of the folks that are buying all this stuff realizes the precautions of and courtesy to others. Is that the best way of putting it? Okay. Buying all the toilet paper, and then Jim goes to get toilet paper, and he's that guy that just buys that 6-pack.
Right.
Goes home. No toilet paper at all. You know what I mean?
People are buying like 4 months supply. You don't need that much toilet paper.
No. And I think that
yeah, we got Tylenol too, CC. Kids Tylenol.
I grabbed an extra one while I was there. We have some in storage, but for some reason I like keeping it in the cupboard right there. I can just grab it, and if the kids are like,
You go through it quick though.
you go through it quick with kids.
Yeah, you do.
So like the just in time delivery system, and people not realizing how that works exactly. And I think a lot of folks are they walk around with blinders on, and they go to the store every day. They go shop at Walmart. There's
Mm-hmm.
more stores to shop at than Walmart. We don't even shop at Walmart anymore. True,
Right.
true, right? Uh, yeah, we don't even shop at Walmart anymore. We go to the mom and pops and random places now. We don't even do that anymore. It's just, and we're kind of doing our own kind of sticking it to the man kind of thing. It's just our way of looking at it, I guess. I don't know if any of you feel that way or not, but it's just that's
Some are
just my
getting
feeling
weird
on
putting
the
up
weirdness.
their like cattle gates in the
Cattle
front and the
gates
big
and the
TVs
cameras
and the
and
cameras. It's like,
yeah, everywhere I went, I was on Canic camera, and I said, "Wow, this feels like a FEMA camp." And I said, "I don't ever want to come in this store ever again." So we've been picking other places to go from here on out. We usually don't go to Walmart's. There's a few other places we don't go. We have a list, and we just sort of go around that. Um, but well, the just-in-time food system, they think, I guess a lot of folks out there walk around with blinders on. They assume that there's a storage area in the back that has racks and racks of replacement item replenishing. They can just throw it on the shelf as soon as they buy it, and no harm, no foul, no big deal. But the way it actually works is those trucks you see every day running on the freeways and all over the place, those are the delivery system. Those trucks pick that stuff up. Some guy, all right, so Bob goes to the store, grabs that 6 roll of toilet paper, and they ring it up, and it goes into the system, and it says on the shelf, there's another one there. And it's in the warehouse. Clock, 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 tink, 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 and it's all digitally put in. So they know
mm-hmm.
there's one right now. Now they need another one. Now they need another one. And it's like, all right, now we need 100 cases of this. Okay. And they have to load that truck up and bring it to the store. It's not in the back, you know. Billy's not going to be there with the scanner in the middle of the night scanning stuff and putting it on the shelf unless it came off that truck and got brought in. And I think too many folks actually think that it's all sitting in the back somewhere and it's just going to get thrown up in the front. That's not how it works everywhere. All right, so that's that just-in-time network. And if these pandemic type situations escalate, and if panic gets escalated even more, and they start, like I said, there was the call to National Guard uh, news I was reading about, right? So there's that. If they involve all that stuff and they start steering that path where I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this is just my thought is that if it does veer into so much panic because they freaked everybody out so bad that it leads to medical martial law, they have to have these cattle gates so that everyone can go through there like cattle and get screened and scanned and get their tests back and see if they're cleared and all this other stuff. And if they declare if this state of emergency has declared that to open the floodgates to all this other craziness, then uh, if that was just to uh, find some way to gather stolen cash, or if there's a war going on that we don't know about, if it's silence, you know, they don't, there's something that they're not telling us, that there's some sort of secret thing going on in the back, in the shadows, right? There's just so much that I think about with this. And if they involve all these systems, and then if that sends relief to all these other folks, and but it's meant to be used towards this, and this, and if that's the case, if truckers are having a hard time about making deliveries, and that also harbors that, and that also goes back to the, you can look up multiple videos on if the truck stops moving, if the truck stopped, and I did a video about it a while ago, like a year ago or something, but if the trucks stop, what happens after the trucks stop? If all this stuff causes the trucks to stop moving, then you can almost bet and guarantee uh, you ain't getting any supplies on the shelf because the just-in-time system isn't going to work. They're not going to read that, Billy bought a pencil sharpener, and well, Billy bought a pencil sharpener. All right, place an order in for pencil sharpeners when they run low, yada yada, and that type of thing. Do 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 do. Uh, and then the truck's headed in, and then it gets stopped because they can't cross states, right? Just saying. I mean, if it gets that crazy,
I
it's
don't
like,
think
well,
it'll get that bad.
pencil sharpeners are in that direction,
That'd be
the next
like
state over.
if the truck stopped, there'd be like no electricity. If it was that extreme, people wouldn't be operating the power
Oh,
plants or the
okay.
water.
That's when I got severe. Remember my
Yeah.
my pandemic severity, the crazy pandemic story, where literally people are afraid to get sick because there's so much panic, there's so much fear built up
Mm-hmm.
that they decide to not even go to work anymore. They just shut the doors, close the blinds, and hide inside their little bubble, and they won't go anywhere anymore because of all the panic and chaos going on
Yeah.
outside. So the guy, the engineers, and all this other trash, all these other folks, you name it, everybody out there that does some particular type of task that keeps that big human machine running, that keeps the power on, that keeps the water flowing, that does all this stuff. They just decide to not go to work that day. Or what if Bob is the guy that opens up the spillway to gather that electricity for everybody, and Bob gets really sick. You know what I mean? And he spreads it to his coworkers, and
I
they
think they're
quarantine
gonna
the whole
think pretty
location.
quick that they're gonna want that electricity and
It's
power
just,
back on and
I just
water.
throwing all the craziness out there that
Yeah, but
because
it's
people unravel this nuts into the
yeah.
mix out there, and it's like, well, let's get real crazy.
It's just this. It really gets me frustrated and upset about the whole control factor of you can't go where you want because I've had people tell me that their husbands or family members that work at Eastman chemical plant that forbid them to not leave the state. Don't go on your vacations. Don't go on your cruises, or you're going to get fired. We won't let you back into the company. It just really gets
Yeah.
me pissed off that they're using so
Well,
much control. I'm sorry.
language, calm down.
That's not bad. That's mild.
Calm down. Calm down a little.
So it's already spreading
She's getting feisty.
to prevent more spread of infection.
She's getting all worked up.
Anyways,
You
I just hate when people threaten like your jobs and everything. Well, sorry you've had this plan for so many months or a year, but we're gonna fire you if you leave the state. Anyways.
That goes back to what I was telling you though the other night. We were talking about how the Center of Disease Control, and if they find someone, then there's a HIPAA violations if you name off the person, that blah blah. And you were explaining that to me. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's how that works. You don't want to say anything. It's like, oh, okay. And so that's the reason why I don't give up the information, because just because they found someone that has it, they can't say, well, it was Frank whoever, that
Mm-hmm.
lives in blah 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 this address. They can't give out any information on the individual because then everybody starts freaking out that's associated with them, and they start trying to leave town.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I
and
mean?
they'll
They
treat
can't
them like
gather
a
them up yet.
leopard, or
Yeah.
somebody might go off and try and like
And that was
do
funny.
something to them to.
Someone had told me, it's like, hey man, you wasn't kidding. They've got the U.S. Marshals involved, and there was a case where someone was actually on the run because he knew they were coming to get him because his buddy had the virus, and he already got grabbed by the CDC or whatever, and they're probing him like an alien, right? And old boy freaked out and ran to the mountains or whatever, and they sent people to go nab him and bring him back. And that's been a couple of little stories I've heard on this adventure of craziness. So these are just some of the weird, crazy emails that I get throughout the day. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, homie ran to the mountains and the U.S. Marshals went after him. I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. That sounds nuts.
The flu still kills more people than this thing
Yeah.
has. Flu kills like 80,000 a year.
Yeah.
What was the toll? Like 4,000 so
It
far.
was, yeah, it wasn't as bad as people are making it out to
We
be.
shall see. I'm just saying, from a healthcare perspective, everybody that I've talked to in hospitals, clinics, they're just like, this is ridiculous. You know, they're just spreading mass panic to people, making everybody freak out.
Bigfoot doesn't need toilet paper. He's got the woods.
It's got a bush.
He just drags his butt on a tree or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. It's a lot of work. I'm surprised it's still holding up with the kids trying to climb it.
Mm-hmm.
They get crazy. I finished the flag downstairs. Uh, I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or not. How many of you guys are on there? I finished the flag and I just I've
We
been
do. We
working on
still
it.
have PPE.
Got tons of PPE.
No, I'm saying at work. They're wondering with the
Oh.
hospitals. We have to have our own special TB mask with our names in it. But
Yeah.
yeah. I will refuse to go in a TB room if I don't have a mask. You will not make me go in there. Mm-mm. If we're run out for some reason, I'll be like, nope.
TB is nasty.
Nope.
Woo. Mm-mm.
You talk about 6 months to a year recovery on 2
Mm-mm.
antibiotics
Mm-mm.
at least.
Not this. I don't want that. I'm good.
Extremely contagious.
Yeah. You can give me coronavirus first.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take coronavirus over TB. I'm just
Mhm.
throwing it out there. That's just my feelings.
Yeah.
I don't want to be quarantined unless they give me unlimited internet supply. Because I want to be able to document the whole thing. This is day one. This is BA coming to you from the quarantine lab. that's how it's going to start out for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got the sniffles. It's not going good. Feels like I'm getting a bear hug in the chest. I don't like it. I don't know how we kicked that. But yeah, I finished the flag. I finished.
Gosh, it's crazy,
I,
Sergeant James.
I drew the whole thing out and did a flag down the basement.
Looks good.
It's not perfect, but I did the best I could on it, and I did it all, every little bit of it by hand. I even did the silly little stars and everything. You know, they're silly because they're like I couldn't get all of them just perfect the way I wanted them, and
Bionic man.
leather patches. I've got the leather stamp, and I had problems getting them to pound into all the little pieces of leather. I realized it actually takes a really long time to cut every single one of those. And my sewing machine is requiring different thread again. That's not working. That plastic stuff that it's running and working so good. It was giving me a lot of problems. It's just it'd be like running a sweatshop trying to get a bunch of leather
Mm.
leather and stained stitched patches made. It's like a
Ireland,
sweatshop.
they're doing martial law. Here, pull it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see, from Ireland, the word is they're implementing martial law at 8 in the morning. No supplies in family of 3.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully you got a good support system. If you know, like your neighbors, you got friends or extended family that you trust, and hopefully you got enough supplies to last. If your stores are closed right now, if they're open, I'd say run, get what you can.
That's if people think it's not possible, and it's not going like for us, everything gets called something different. And I keep telling folks, they can call it whatever they want to call it. And it can still be a form of martial law. It's just like the medical martial law that they implemented for vaccines and all this other stuff. And people might not pick up what I'm dropping. they most folks would there's a lot of people out there that would argue with me until the cows come home. But until they see it in person, most of my
You're thinking of I Am Legend.
most of my craziness and thoughts into this stuff, people just take as like, man, that's crazy, and that could never happen, no way. And then the next day, what did I say was going to happen? It starts
I've
happening
heard that, Michael. Yeah.
every single time. It's just like the whole, as it's only a matter of time they're going to start calling in, uh, putting boots on the ground in certain locations. It's going to start, and everybody's like, man, you're just fear mongering. No way. I said, man, you just need to think. You need to really think about this stuff because stuff happens and might not happen right this second, but just I guarantee you, after all this pumping it up, because they've been pumping it up on social media. Tell me if you guys are not seeing it. I mean, tell me it because I know good and well when I go and I check the Twitter feed or see what is the top story. What is the top story? How many people are dying from the coronavirus? How many people have died, or what they're dealing with here, and the body cover up count, and you're seeing it too. I'm not the only person seeing this stuff. Drudge Report, nothing but red first thing in the morning.
Hey, frickin' Doug.
It's, uh,
Well, thank you, buddy.
but yeah, it's you guys are. I mean, you guys are seeing the same stuff I'm seeing, and then with all that, with all that panic creates fear, and they're doing it. They're pumping it up, and out of that fear, there's it's distraction, causing for other things.
Best
Doesn't
thing to
doesn't explain all the troop movements either.
I mean, the best thing to do, everybody, is just wash your hands before you put food in your mouth, or don't touch your eyes. It's the best thing to do is just wash your hands. If you are in the elderly section, yeah, by all means put on a mask. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that.
I would.
I would if I was in my 60s and up.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't hesitate. Um,
I'd even put a little
but
smiley face on it and do some weird artwork on it or something just to be silly.
but honestly, just wash your hands before anything you touch that goes in your mouth. Just wash your hands. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes or your face. I've been in the healthcare field for a long time, and I tell you, I hardly ever get sick because I always wash my hands.
Don't say that. You're knock on some wood, girl. Oh, come on now.
All right.
You never know what can
And
happen.
you just think it through. Yeah, if there's somebody coughing and snotting, run the other
with
way.
with all this stuff going on, the only thing that I worry about is her most of the time. It's my thought is that because all the different uh, she she could get all kinds of exposure to so many
Mm-hmm.
different things throughout the day. And I have this fear that one day she's going to be calling me from work saying she ain't going to be able to come home
Yeah.
because of something. And
Lockdown.
or it could be total lockdown. And that's
Could
what I was saying. I said, what if they decide to do total lockdown? It's like, you know, you guys can't leave. No one can come in for whatever reason. I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
And uh, I mean, I get myself worked up in a frenzy because last night I had this crazy dream, and that I'll tell you guys. I wasn't going to say anything about this, but I had this crazy dream last night, and I don't even preach this stuff. I just sometimes I go to sleep and I have a wild dream. So the dream was we Sippy and I were going to get the kids, and there's a checkpoint up ahead, and there was guys in suits, and they were wearing the hoods and everything else, right? And it was just a rad dream. We get to the checkpoint, and then uh, they start freaking out on us and tell us we got to be quarantined, and we get quarantined and we can't go get our kids, and there's no
Yeah.
impact, no idea with the school what had happened to us, and no one gets word out, and we're like quarantined, and our kids are wondering where we are and all this
I
stuff,
think
and
that's
their
every
parents
parent's worst
their
nightmare
parents
is
have gone missing,
you can't get to your
and
kids.
we can't get to our kids, and our kids are freaking out and crying because they can't find their parents, and that was what the whole dream was about. And so why did I have that dream? I don't know.
Just your
uh,
fear as a parent.
Fear as a parent, I guess, but
The way that they keep going is just so extreme. It's like I was
yeah.
telling him, we're getting this meeting about what everything has changed. People have to get bans on now that, know that let us know, hey, you've been screened, you passed our checks, you've been
Hmm.
through security, this person's good, they're allowed in. And then, it used to be this age. And then within 30 minutes, it changed again. And it just went, nope, we're not going to do 12 or under. Now we're doing 18 and under, not allowed. And it just, they're getting just up and up. And, even all my managers were like, I don't know what to tell you come Monday where we're going to be
Yeah.
at. You expect it to only go up and not go down. So it's just getting, just more
It's changing, changing, changing.
all for the safety.
I said, but I told the wife she'd come home from work, and I said, well, um I said, did you hear about did you hear about the state of emergency? And she said, oh yeah, we heard about that. Yeah, it's already starting to change already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? That fast? Dang.
It's going quick. Everything, protocols, policies, things are going really quick.
And that's for everyone
Yeah,
across the
that's
board. That's everyone out there.
Yep, not just in Tennessee, but other
Yeah.
states as well. I was just tripping out about hearing about New York. I'm like, are we talking about like the TV show Contained?
Oh
No,
wow.
no,
Yeah.
it's a real deal.
Holy moly. Oh, uh,
But yes,
what
cool
should
heads prevail. You just gotta stay calm, cool, collective. I know I read some comments where people are like, you're not taking this seriously.
yeah, and we totally
Yeah, I
do
take
take it
it
seriously.
seriously, but trust me,
We
emergency situations, you have to stay calm, cool, and
Yeah, you
collective.
really do have to stay calm. Uh the I guess the
Hmm.
other thing I kind of want to say real quick, something else had brought my attention. Somebody told me that I think it was uh I I think it was MI who said something to me about it, but I'm not sure. So I was reading, it was a post from someone else, and uh, it was saying how Chinatown is fully stocked with supplies and plenty of hand sanitizer and just all kind of stuff. They had all the food and toilet paper, and as nobody's really wanting to go down there, I guess, and that's what they were saying to me. And I said, "Wow, that's crazy." And so here's the thing I want to pass to some of you that might be grabbing stuff, okay, and you want to get stuff before it runs out, or you
Mm-hmm.
want to do something like that, okay. So I know a lot of folks are going to anyways, regardless of what I say. Here's the thing: if think of the places that not everyone goes. Think of those places that you've shopped at that not too many people shop there, and go to that place. But if you're looking for it at your local popular store, then it's not going to have what you need. So you're going to have to be a little bit flexible in the situation to get more supplies if you need them.
Well, it's like somebody was just saying, I can't remember, everything's like cleaned out at Walmart, but they went to the camping section and there was still
Yep.
freeze dried foods.
Yeah.
Bam.
Well, it's not just that. You go to the camping section, they still have camping toilet paper. They still have RV.
Very true.
If you're looking for,
Tissues,
if you're looking
baby
for,
wipes, they were saying, yeah.
if everyone's out of toilet paper, I talked
I
to
say napkins.
I got something really cool for you. Check this out. A friend told me that they went to Amazon and ordered toilet paper, and it came the next day.
Hmm.
Toilet paper. So
Crazy.
if you go to, and that's just another location you guys can shop at. Amazon, they can't spike the price up just because it's not eBay, right? So they went to Amazon and looked to find toilet paper, and they could get toilet paper. That goes with a lot of the foods and stuff that you won't see at the store. If you had to order a 20-pound bag of rice, then you could get it from freaking Amazon. You know what I mean? So it's just something to consider. Shop at all these other places that most folks don't even think about when they go shopping for food or shopping for toilet paper. The majority goes to Walmart.
Very
So
close
you
to me.
gotta shop like a minority. You gotta think about in advance where to go. You could find it somewhere else. It's like all the folks that are looking for hand sanitizer. Look at that other store that has hand sanitizer, and go check out I was in Walgreens and going through Walgreens, they weren't out of anything, nothing, and I don't think anybody realizes how much stuff Walgreens has or how much stuff CVS has, or you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
people are going to like just Dollar General and
Yeah,
Walmart
that's like Publix and all those
besides
other
the
places.
grocery
There's
stores.
the all the drugstores and stuff are still fully stocked with stuff. So,
Oh, Amazon's out of toilet paper.
oh,
Probably.
what?
Get your finger out of that eye. That's right. Don't touch your
I
face.
I have to get this.
No, he said don't touch your eyeball.
Oh, I'll be all right. Son. I wash I wash my hands. I'm like Terminator after you
Oh, I
remove the
had to get
hand. I
him
wash my
back
hands.
when we were at line, and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Well, you better wash your
She
hands."
does it every time though.
I'll be like, "Did you wash your
Did
hands?"
you
He's
wash your
like,
hands?
"Shut up." I'm like, "Did
Do
you
you
wash
have
your
to do
hands?"
that in public? I do it every time you bust me. I come out of the bathroom. I was like, I just kind of washing my hands. You're like, do you wash your hands? I was like, and then I have to explain the whole guy thing. Like if you, well, I didn't touch anything, right? So I don't have to, right? And so you have to explain all this stuff to the woman, and yeah, it just gets really inappropriate in the middle of the store. Really inappropriate for a live stream too. But anyways,
Everybody knows I'm just hand washing person. I'm just like, wash your hands. You're
wash
gonna
your
get
hands,
worms.
fool.
You're gonna get those butt worms.
Oh man, yeah. There's so many things. Anyway, there's that, and buy the food that other people are not buying. It's probably a good idea.
Well, hopefully, if anything, people take it away from this. Like when you go through like those gun scares, everybody
Yep,
starts stocking
yep.
up and the shelves are empty. When this dies
I had
down, hopefully, people will just gradually just keep stocking up on your food
I had someone
and
now.
your toilet paper, I guess.
I mean, for a lot of you guys, be careful what you say on the internet because it just sounds crazy. If you read it out loud, it doesn't sound good. Like someone actually wrote a comment to me and says they have plenty of guns and ammunition. They don't need supplies because they're going to take
Steven.
it from everybody else, basically. And as be careful saying things like that because that's not.
Spray with Lysol. I will,
Yeah.
Wes.
Does it? Yeah, I wouldn't go saying stuff like that. And
Oh,
uh,
I would.
I no, you would not.
Oh,
You
yeah.
you were the one that said that sounds like some American Psycho type stuff, and I said, yeah, that is definitely. And yeah, you don't say stuff like that. I wouldn't do that. But it's just like when they go through the gun ban scares and people buy up
Never heard
bulk
that joke.
ammo and said, well, I'm buying ammo instead of buying toilet paper. Well, you could be reloading ammo, and we could go a step higher than that. And everybody should reload ammo because it's something. You really do learn a lot more about firearms by doing it. But anyways, I guess that's really all I got on that focus. I can't think of uh, anything else like tips and hints and stuff like that. Is uh,
Pedialyte, Gatorade,
Pedialyte,
juice.
Gatorade, juice,
Get that chicken broth.
chicken
If the
broth.
soups are out, go chicken broth. There was like crap ton of chicken broth in the aisle.
Uh,
You know,
uh, One thing that they had
people
plenty
think.
of was Tylenol and all the other stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have any of that stuff right now, I would grab it and make sure you have a couple of bottles on hand.
Use those corn on the cob husks,
Corn on the
Wes.
cob husk work pretty good. Uh, we got there's a whole ton of those out there. I was thinking about that too. I was like, man, you just use a corn on the cob husk and do like the old school days.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, wipe it. Eh, But yeah, I mean, just uh, for folks that are like I was saying earlier, for folks that are just getting into prepping, if
Well,
because I know a lot of you have been doing this a long time,
and there's some
but
that are new.
for the ones that are new, this is just
Little wake up call for everybody.
I don't want to rub that part of the
Mm-mm.
whole thing. What I
No.
want to say right now is that I just one thing that helped Sippy and I get started and focus on what we needed was actually writing it out and make a list. You
Mm-hmm.
got to make a list. You're gonna have to take a few minutes and just sit down at the table and say, all right, and talk about it with, if you have a significant other, uh, talk about it with them. And if you have kids, include the kids in the thought. And
Mm-hmm.
because you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. If you have a kid that still needs diapers, if you have a kid that needs this,
Yeah.
this, and this, and this, and
Formula. Oof, that's kind of hard to stock up on.
that's, that goes into the equation of what do I need. Now, you have to take into account like everything. If you need a toothbrush and toothpaste,
Gosh.
then your kids are going to need toothbrush, toothpaste, and you got to think about the long all of it, right? And that's the reason why you have to make a list. You have to sit down and start writing it down, because if you don't, you're going to lose track of the stuff that you need to put on hand. And this isn't a and it, people are on a budget. People can't just go there's families out there that cannot just go to the store and buy 20 cases of toilet paper. It's not something that, most households can do. They cannot pull that off. Sippy and I can't buy that much freaking toilet paper. It's just ridiculous. We have three other mouths to feed, including ourselves. So we have to budget and we have to make it practical. That's the reason why we set $20 aside per grocery visit to do these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go to the freaking grocery store and do these craziness that most folks do. You have to start small and work your way up. But if folks, uh, if folks are preparing to do that sort of thing, and that's what they're doing, make a list, and go down it and make sure. Well, how often do I need, for example, Tylenol, or how often do
Hey,
I
half crazy. I'm sorry. I was
have
just thinking
crazy?
about you the other day. I'm like, where is he? And I hope your health is okay. So it's good to see you popping up.
Uh,
T-Bro.
Derail.
Yeah.
That's just like for folks who like drinking coffee and stuff, coffee filters and stuff like that. You get to thinking about something just as simple as a coffee maker and coffee filters and coffee. For that, you get to, how many are you down to your last two filters, that kind of thing. That's what you have to consider. I should probably get one more of those. You know what I mean? So it's just something to consider. That's just how you got to look at pretty much all of it in a whole.
Yeah, Josh, we were talking about that.
Yeah, that's something else we already mentioned.
Medications, you can't, don't, it's just like he said, just comfort stuff.
Comfort stuff's
Aspirin,
important too.
Tylenol, just stuff to treat basically the symptoms.
It's
Antibiotics won't touch it. Don't waste your supply.
and you can't. I mean, uh,
Just hydrate and get rest.
yeah.
Say your prayers and think positive. Mental preparedness is very important too, just as much as physical, you know, as we're talking.
But buying the little things that you would need to make it, people still aren't buying enough. It doesn't matter if they buy. If one individual walked into a grocery store and bought the entire shelf, this is just a good example for those of you that are still listening to what I'm saying here.
hmm,
Why it tunes me up.
Ken.
If you walked into, just for example, just to tell you how hard it is on one individual, one person. If one person walked into, like the grocery store picture that I posted today, and a few folks had seen that, if you walked in and you bought that much rice, for example, one individual, that is nothing. That one individual, that is nothing for that one person. If you bought that entire shelf, that is nothing. If you're if they are that panicked and freaked out about it and they really think about it, that much rice, even if they bought the whole shelf, isn't going to put a dent to help their family as much as if they would have been doing it the whole time. It's just a good example. And imagine how much food you really do need. It's not one shelf of freaking rice. You're going to need a lot more rice than that for one individual. It takes a lot of food for one individual to last throughout a year. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at, and if people are seriously thinking at this as some kind of movie sketch, if this is what they're seeing out there, a real pandemic, if that's what's gotten people spooked so bad and they really get to thinking about it, all that isn't going to add up to a couple of months. It may be 3 months, and that's about it. And then what do you do then? And it's the aftermath of the whole thing. It's what do you do after that time is up? What if it does get that chaotic? What if it does get that crazy? What if the lights go out? What if this? What if that? Right? So there you go. And for people that get themselves worked up, that really isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can panic buy and buy the whole store out. That isn't going to help you as much. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many
Yeah,
times I've.
that's what I think too, Eagle. The financial thing is just way worse than the virus.
But the calorie,
Dow keeps crashing.
the calorie counter information, if you guys want that, is in where I get my information. That's true. Is this LDS preparedness manual.
Yeah, it's the micron. Definitely will filter out the viruses.
This is the book that I have read off in many of the live streams that I've done, and that's like I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many of them. It tells you exactly the calorie count per individual and how much the body needs, how much rice one individual needs, how much of everything everyone
Mm-hmm.
needs. And when I based it off those live streams from a couple of years ago, doing I think it was like 3 years ago, I covered all the basic individual stuff that everyone would need, how many cans of food, and these books have your checklist in them so that you can go through them to stock up.
Yeah, it's the nurse's drug guidebook. It's just oh, where'd it go? That's just what I use. It's a little bit more simpler than when you do that.
Your cool.
Yeah, just this. But if you want more
There's
specifics for like antibiotics, like especially fish antibiotics, you just do Dr. Alton's.
there's a and there's also don't make me quote it right now because I can't because there's uh, you can go Google search and type in caloric intake counter.com or something like along those lines, and it usually comes up right off the bat. You can look up the amount you're going to need versus body weight, height, everything, and how much you're actually going to need to survive. And
Yeah, because you don't
it'll
want to
take
get
you through the
malnourished.
different foods you can eat. And, this book I like because it actually takes you through how many cans of this you're going to need and how many cans of that you're going to need
Hmm.
and exactly and it sends out and it's an entire grocery list of craziness. Uh, but yeah, I try to uh, base it off of this, but there's websites for it too. There's tons of flipping websites for caloric intake. But you could just run through them real quick, and uh, Storage for stuff is easy if you just talk about it, you know. It seems easier, but it's not as easy because it's if everyone's running out of food supplies, it's going to be hard to meet that requirement. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that if you go and you buy the last shelf of rice or whatever it is that you do
Mm-hmm.
to try and balance out your caloric intake, then for each family over your home, it's like, okay, there's a month, there's 2 months, you know. You get to thinking about that, you really do run out. You know, they're running off the shelves, there's nothing there, then there's nothing left, and that's it. And then you really got to think about, well, what's next, you know? And you're really gonna, it's a good time to start a garden. I mean, seriously, folks, if you can, urban gardens are awesome. There's some awesome books on urban gardening. We were gonna cover that tonight, remember? You were talking
Oh
about
yeah,
the,
about all the little um, tidbits of like things to help keep your plants and
yeah,
your crops from getting devastated by like squirrels and cats, and unfortunately dogs wasn't in that one for our little tree.
yeah. But we were gonna,
Bandit.
we can talk about,
Bandit.
we can talk about that one next week. I think
Yeah.
that'd be a good topic for next week to talk about gardening a little bit more because uh, gardening isn't
Yeah.
like right now for most people because there's a lot of folks that still have like a couple of inches of snow on the ground and situations like that where they can't. Uh, yeah, that's where I cut my finger off.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I thought it
they
was
grew back
cool
though.
just for, I know, an
I
example,
know.
like for apple trees, it was saying just get some, like the cardboard from like, packing boxes and strap it around, just the midline of the tree. And that, introduces a better feeding ground for like those, worms. I can't remember what type of worm it was, or the flies will lay the eggs in
Oh,
the cardboard
uh,
instead of going
tomato
in.
hornworm.
No, what's I'm talking about an apple tree, not a tomato.
I thought you said tomato.
No, it's
Oh, I
the
tuned
apple
you out there.
tree.
The first part.
Anyways, I thought it was just cool. Yeah, cardboard wrapped around partial of the base of the tree, and the
We should play charades some night.
and the flies go to the cardboard instead of wanting to contaminate your food. Anyways, you're not derailing me.
We should totally play
Oh
charades.
yeah,
Be
totally.
great and have a
Mhm.
bell.
Mhm.
Be awesome.
Yeah, cow manure. Our dog can drag the cow manure for us because he likes to go and roll in it.
Okay, another dog fact for all of you out there, if y'all didn't know and you want to learn more about animals, we're learning a lot about our pets. And I wanted to share this real quick before we end up getting off here at some point. I want to make sure somebody knows about this because it's weird. So, flipping dog has been going, he's been going a good distance away. And there's he's already gotten in a fight with a bull, and he's wandering around with cows, and he's been coming back home, and he smells like uh, cow manure, and uh, it's ridiculous. Oh man,
I can still kind
oh,
of smell it even though I washed them.
whoa,
I
boy, he
think I'm
gets
gonna
it.
just shave them.
He gets it in there. He gets it in there thick. It's like because back in the day, I used to work kill one of a slaughterhouse, and I used to cut the faces off of hogs, and we'd go through a few hundred a day. And in the middle of all that, I remember coming home with the smell on
Thank you,
me.
Uncle Hairball.
Thank you. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, boom,
Appreciate you,
boom.
buddy. Thank you very much.
Sonic bomb. Um, I used to come home and you couldn't get the smell off of you, and it smells exactly like dog smells when he comes here. And we've been having to wash him. And I go, I don't know why, but it hit me. I just said, man, why on earth is he rolling in cow patties? Why is he doing it? And I looked at dog facts and all over the place. And every single one of them said the exact same thing that he is doing it to camouflage his scent. And the second reason why it's like for hunting and gathering, he can camouflage his scent by rubbing whatever he's trying to blend in with, the smell on him or whatever. It's disgusting. So uh, he what was the other thing? And the other reason why was that to bring back to his pack to let them know the location of where he's going. So he comes back and Bandit sniffs him, and now they both little buddies know where this location is because he sniffed it, and then he can go find it or something. Anyways, it's ridiculous. Anyways, I was reading all about that today.
Yeah, this summer he's definitely going to be outdoors 24/7.
If he comes home smelling like that again, I'm not letting him back in the house ever again. He's not coming back in here. He's just stay outside. But yeah, I wasn't gonna have him stink the house up, and wife would have killed me if I would have let the dog in and left him like that.
I was screaming from the woods, "Don't let the dog in!"
Yeah, I heard you.
He just comes running up to us, covering cow poop. I was like,
I heard you. I told you he did that the other day, and you were like, he did what? And then sure enough, he did it in front of you. Oh man, it's so gross for the dog to do that. Well, I don't know what their obsession is with rolling in poop. That's why I had to look it up, man. It's gross. Anyways, he's just something else, man. I tell you.
"I'll
Anyway,
try Dawn dish soap next time."
that's all I got.
Yeah.
I was gonna leave you guys with that. That's my unusual dog fact for today, because I already figured out what the laying positions were. Because our dog, I ran across this dog article. You know what I mean?
Probably someone from San Francisco wrote it.
I ran across that dog article, and ever since then, where I read this, where if they lay like this with their legs out, it's they've lost touch with reality and purpose for their meaning of life and all
John.
this silliness, and if they're curled up, it means this, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me!
There
You
is
really
cute.
have gone into detail about the
Yes.
dog, and I was like, well, I have to learn more now. So it's like, what does it mean when they roll in freaking cow patties? I want to know that one. Why does my dog roll in cow patties? First thing comes up. And it's like, wow, you got to be kidding me. It's part of the ancestral instincts of a dog. Yay, yay me. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. You got anything else? That was it. All right, guys and gals, be careful.
Yep.
Be careful and
Don't get mowed down by the mobs.
think, think about it. And um, it's a good time.
Wash
If
your hands.
for myself and Sippy, for me,
Thanks for
something. I'll leave you guys with this little piece here. Something that I've been doing since all this stuff has taken place is get more stuff for barter items, and
Yeah, someone mentioned that too.
I've been stocking up for stuff for barter items. Um, Tobacco products and things like that would be a good items to have on hand. Silver's at an all-time low right now. I think it's still there. I'm
I
not
think
sure.
toilet paper would be an excellent barter item right now.
There's going to be plenty of toilet paper out there to trade for. But someone that bought all that toilet paper is probably going to want a pack of smokes. Just saying.
There might be people buying it and reselling it.
I'm going to do another mead video. The old mead video got deleted along with my potassium permanganate video from a while back. It got deleted as well from a couple years ago because it was too violent and dangerous because of all the flaming explosions and stuff going off. So I'll probably be doing that one again. I don't know. I'm just about giving up on stuff like that. So I'm doing another mead video. I need to make some more, but this time it's a monster batch, and this time I've got some tips to give and share with folks since I've been doing it a little bit, and I've already made a few batches, and uh, I tried a batch that's been on the shelf for several months now, right?
I just want to breed his beard.
Right? Several months now. It's been on shelf. She ain't listening to me.
Sorry, so she's saying she wants to braid your beard. I'll braid it next time.
Several months ago, I had made some mead, and it was about a year ago almost, I'm assuming. and I made from 3 pounds of honey and yada yada. I'm gonna do a little video, and we're gonna bump it up a notch. I'm gonna rack it into 5-gallon buckets,
Ooh.
and we're gonna do 10 pounds
You
of
might
honey.
as well do 50
And
gallon drum.
we're gonna
bro.
get crazy. So, but
do 50-gallon
the
drum.
storage for the mead worked perfect. It was fantastic. It was delicious. It was amazing. And I'm going to make more of it for the storage for bartering. And I'm going to use mason jars for storage and yada, yada, yada. I'll take everybody through it, and I'm hoping people will like it. But that's what I would be doing if I were you. I would be stocking up on barter items. All right. That's it.
Well, everybody, we're keeping you in our prayers, and
I'm dragging it out.
Hope that you guys got enough food, and hopefully it'll just kind of blow over in a few weeks.
Hopefully.
That's what we're just hoping.
But yeah, if you're stocked up on everything else,
yeah.
I want to add that real quick before someone says, "Oh, BA."
The Wesses, I hope you guys have plenty of tortillas through this crisis.
Oh, the freaking tortillas!
Don't run out of tortillas, okay?
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I wanted. It must have been that Mexican prepper. I'm telling you, he bought all the tortillas. He knew I was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He knew I was coming. He's laughing at me right now. He's like, senor. Ha ha ha. So mad. All right. I love you guys. God bless.
God bless.
Stay safe.
Stay sane.
Don't go crazy.
Yep.
And thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Good night.
Night.